Where if kidney process the fear, our internal organs process the emotions, the stuff we like, the stuff we don't like, the stuff we fear, the stuff. Voila. So what if kidney process the fear? What if the thyroid process the self-criticism? So any thyroid link with that line in Quran of Hazrat Musa, or the dua, the one source prescribed to him. So kidney process fear, thyroid process self-criticism, lungs process the grief, the sadness, uterus, and this symbol of uterus, and our reproductive parts, the liquid. So uterus, the trauma, liver process the anger, liver process the frustration, and the bladder process the stress and worry. And again, any link between kidney, fear, and leg. And I also wanted to say, for the lowest chakra, the red one, the heaviest one, it's earth, then above it, the reproductive parts, the water, then our solar plex, the yellow one. So it's like red, or from bottom, red, orange, yellow, and then the heart is the green, the blue, and then I always confuse this, the third eye and the crown chakra. One is violet and one is indigo, or upper one is the white. And I also wanted to share the interconnected article. It is something to do with 3 and 4, and it was interesting for me, like 3 plus 4 again 7. The last article, it was like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and again the Masonic symbol. So there is this compass and circle, and what else the second one was? It has something to do, I guess, with square. So just straight lines and circles. What's going on? Yeah, everything in nature is circle. It seems chaos, but it's not chaos. Okay, so soulmate is less about union with another person. Yeah, there is this notion you have just one soulmate. Okay, so you have just this one soulmate, but there are people, one love is not enough for them. So then you are like, what's the problem? Like, where's the solution? So soulmate, I don't think so you have one soulmate, and I don't think so just because you have one soulmate does mean you have to marry them. I think it is something else. And this article of Twitchy made me somehow realize, like I'm going to that unknown right direction. No, they can't, and then we Muslims, at least our Pakistani elders have, you're supposed to be Zoj, you're supposed to be the two partners and that stuff. And not everyone's priority is that. Someone's priority is just that they wanna value their intuition, they wanna value their priorities. Soulmate is less about union with another person and more about being mirrored back into awareness of divine soulmate. So soulmate is opening that. Could be your enemy, it could be anyone, it could be a stranger, It's opening that a channel inside you, awareness of divine, linking you to that one divine, one source, whatever you call it, of divine, soulmate. So is the one through whom God speaks to you, often by surprise. There are always the nature, the intuition, the invisible world always knocks on your door. It's on whether you listen or whether you don't. That's the thing. It's that simple. Other traditions echo this in their own language, as we have seen. Yeah, there is this book Anamcara, and there is this retreat also Anamcara, but the book is really interesting, Anamcara, Celtic. And Purity, the Door of Perception, that book of ALDOUS HUXLEY, his famous books Brave New World, Purity Better Than Wine. And so Anamcara, Celtic, is linking that to Atman and then to Brahman. And in Egyptian there is Ka-ba, Ka and Ba, K-A and B-A. And again, I'm just linking it to Kaf in Kaaba. In Muslims, the Makkah thing, the Kaf, the Ain, the Ba, Kaaba. So Kaaba, Benjamin Bilal is this America. So it's Amir and then Ka. And Ka is the lowest, something form of the soul or heaviest, something like that. You gotta check him on your own. So perhaps a soulmate is in not one definition. Yeah, that's what I am starting to think. Every time my friend says anything I post on stories on Instagram, she says, "May you get a lovely husband." I'm like, and the more clarity comes, I get it. You know, the others thought, what others expectations are from me, and what others' emotional feelings are. Usually, my thoughts are not that. Usually, I get influenced by others. Now, it's about whether you or I are aware or not. We talk purposeless. We don't want to search, we don't want to read the book because it's the inorganic dopamine comes as a speed breaker. So, yes, I'm starting to think soulmate is not one definition like you have to get married to them. But an archetype, yes, it is definitely archetype. The same way as the prophets, the Nabi, Ambiya, whatever, in Quran. I kind of agree with Benjamin Bilal, are archetypes. Yes, and historically they may exist or not, but it doesn't make such a difference whether they existed or not, because every religion have someone, and they all those, whether it's Muhammad in Islam, whether it's Buddhism, whether it's in Buddha in Buddhism, or in Taoism, there are many, like, they all share the same qualities. What if this is one archetype everywhere? But I also questions like, why these are always males? What if there are females as well? But an archetype that several cultures recognize, yes, for that you have to read different cultures, especially the indigenous ones, and different religions as well. You start seeing the pattern when you read the Torah, or when you read the Zohar, or when you read the Quran, or when you read the Bible. Bible is so far my favorite. They're codes, they're hidden codes, and we just say, just because it is an English language, you know, the Bible is not found, the word is not found in the Bible, so, you know, but Quran words is found in Quran. It just doesn't make sense. There are several cultures recognized, and those several different cultures give that archetype different names. To speak of soulmates then in an Islamic register is to speak of signs, okay, beyond a romantic partner. Yeah, the Zoj is any encounter through which the soul remembers itself. A soulmate here, Twitchy is saying, a soul remembers itself. Soul remembers itself. So number 1, soul remembers itself. Number 2, soul remembers God. Number 3, soul remembers the unity beneath a parent separation. You have to read the Door of Perception. It also talks about maybe our language, and when we give words to stuff, to concept, to things, to people, we stop experiencing that thing, that person. Our language limits us in our experiences. A true love doesn't follow any one religion. Yes, I never made friends by asking their caste and that. And when people ask me, you know, my grandfather asked me a lot about how many friends do you have. Like, he always quantify things. We have this notion in this doctrine is this quantity is better than quality. No, it's not. Quality can never be compromised. So we have quantified, and so we have also like put religion. I should also share that. It is somewhere on my Insta stories, the symbols coded story. There's like inside there's a religion. If you want to go, and the more religion you study, the more you become non-religious. Not in a mean typical rigid people will think, but you start seeing things, you know, like the way, what was it, the Wheel of Dharma, Frederick Lenz. So there is not one truth. We see truth, our senses. We see truth from our feelings, emotions, energy, emotions, heart. We see truth from electric, our thoughts. We see truth, our belief system. There was another fourth one. The truth, and then what's the link between the truth, our truth, existence, dharma. How these are all connected. A true love doesn't follow any one religion. Be sure of that, since in the religion of love there is no irreverence or faith. When in love, body, mind, heart, soul don't even exist and become this love. Your body, mind, which connects us, we all are one. Walter Russell, heart, chestahedron, our heart is chestahedron, soul, it's all one, and you will not be separated again. And she gives a Sufi culture example of Rumi and Shams Tabriz. And the halves that wander, yeah, that was her article name. The halves then wander. What ancient myths and modern lives teach us about soulmates? 11 September article. Then she talks about Aristophanes, his myth that once upon a time, he says about one soulmate. So if we take masculine, feminine, we were like this, we were like this, joined together, our backs to backs, and then we were separated, and that's this need of finding the soulmate. But she says in history and psychology, many people meet more than one soul and level companion in a lifetime, and modern image of one in novel. We are again given this notion in Hollywood films, limit imaginations in novel, one, that's one hero, that one soulmate. Is that so? Experience it. Look at your life. Across traditions, now she's talking about the traditions, so we find instead a sense of multiplicity, many recognitions, many mirrors, each with a purpose. Yes, soulmate has something to do with a purpose, and it's something to connect you with the divine power, something to do so you become from ignorant to humble. In Hinduism, some partnerships are dharmic. Now, the dharmic, what does it mean? They exist so each person can walk their, I love this line, they exist so each person can walk their spiritual path more fully. In Yoruba cosmology, the Ori, the soul destiny, recognize others with complementary destiny, forming alliances that serve community as much as individual. Kabbalistic Jewish thought, union of soul is sometimes framed as a vessel for tikkun, the repair of the world. So you have tikkun, the correction of yourself, something like that. Some bonds arrive to anchor us, yes. So some soulmates some bonds with soulmates arrive to anchor us in love, number one. Number two, to ignite creativity. Number three, to shatter the illusion. And there was also another interesting point in the Door of Perception, Aldous Huxley. Is there a point? The sugar intake, when it goes in our brain, it boosts ego. So sugar link with ego. Because when you stop eating, you go more drinking water, of course the quality matters, or osmosis water, the water structure matters. Shatter illusion. The illusion is about shattering the ego. Number four, bond arrive to anchor us in life, ignite creativity, shatter illusion, or remind us of work we carry in the world. Meaning of life. Viktor Frankl, something like that, meaning of life. Psychological research tells us many people describe soul connections as resonance. Connections and resonance, a deep sense of being recognized rather than as recovery of a missing part. And neurologically, the intensity resembles what happens when artists improvise together, or when a student finds the teacher who finally unlocks their potential. It was in that alchemy, something like that Korean season. It was somewhere there. That Narugo, I don't know. She comes and of that prince, she unlocks his potential. So alchemy plus individuations offer their own language for this. Encounters that felt destined, you come across them. Even faithfully, you get triggered or better understood as a catalyst. Number four, others doesn't supply ties what we lack. They activate what has been, sleeping in us. Activate our dormant gifts. Becoming catalyst for transformation. And then she also gives example of Carl Jung and Tony Wolff, the anima-animus archetypes, companion of the psyche, controversial relationship. Soul connections take many forms, fulfill in life together, appear only in letters, in dreams, creative work. Their ending and beginning really look like fairy tales. So then she wrote article because somebody asked her certain questions. So the person asked, does it always start or end well, the soulmate thing? Carl Jung partnership unsettle the boundaries of marriage. Soul connections often destabilize before they stabilize and bring upheaval, revelation, even destruction. But in their wake, something new becomes possible. Again, when the Shamstabra is vanished in Rumi's life, and then Rumi came across the poetry. Ending painful as they are do not erase the truth of recognition. Sometimes beauty is born from the painful endings, like roses that grow from concrete. Is soulmate is shared purpose more important than love? Purpose versus love, the second question. Many traditions remind us that the purpose of such bonds extend beyond personal fulfillment. Definitely not romantic relationship. Two souls finding rest in one another, bond forged in service of something larger like art, philosophy, healing of a community. Deepest connection carry both affection and vocation, intimacy or work. What does God says? In Quran, it affirms the pair. She's referencing to that George ayat. In Hindu text, separation itself is illusion. Christian mysticism of 10 frames beloved as an icon of divine love. Sufi poets or mystics across traditions return again and again to same intuition. Inside voice, something from divine. Presence of soulmate is presence of divine. God speaks through these encounters which you come across these soulmates and rarely with words. Believe that we are incomplete until another arrives can distract us. Yeah, that's the thing. We are brought up to believe this. Some husband will come and complete us. We have to get dependent on that person. Until another arrive can distract us from the deeper work of remembering our own wholeness, our connection with the world that lives and breathes through us. So Jung observed that we often project disowned aspects of ourselves onto others, and the overwhelming force of attraction that this gives rise to can be a signal that the psyche is reaching for what it has buried deep underground, 6 feet or maybe more. In that framework, every recognition becomes and summons to integrate more of ourselves. Alchemists speak of gold, they meant the revelation of reconnection with what was already there.